Hi, it's been a little while. How you doing? What you been up to? What's new? What's the gossip? It's been like a few months since I've recorded anything to put on youtube.com. But here's the thing. Life is busy. Life got busy, job stuff mostly, but also just some like regular life stuff and things like making silly little videos fell to the bottom of the priority list. I wasn't like super stressed out or anything. Don't get me wrong. Like everything's good, but you know, being busy is tiring. And I found myself turning to my little arts and crafts a lot to cope with that. And like as a result, I got kind of overwhelmed by just how much I had to share. I was like, how could I possibly keep a video to like a reasonable amount of time, both for you and also for me, while sharing everything? It's impossible. And so I decided, yeah, like I'm not doing that. I'm just going to show you a little snippet of what I got going on right now because we have to draw a line somewhere. But I'm happy to be back. I had this burst of energy just now, really, and my hair isn't even dry from my shower, but I don't care. I've got this window of opportunity and I must use it. So here we are. Let's start classic finished projects. I'm wearing one right now. This is the Pressed Flowers bandana by Amy Christoffers. And take this off for a moment. This is made in Lion Brand Touch of Linen, which is it's like 51.49, I think, cotton linen. I don't remember which way is which, but these are leftovers from other projects. I would absolutely make this again. I don't think I made any adjustments. It's been honestly a while since I made this. I don't think I made any adjustments to the pattern. Sometimes when I've seen other people make this bandana, they have said that it's a little bit too small, like to easily tie it. And I don't think I would be easily able to make like a little knot in front with the length that it is, but it is easy to wear like this. I don't think I made any adjustments to the pattern. I really should fact check myself, but I think that my yarn is maybe a little bit of a looser gauge. So you could play around. I also haven't checked my gauge on this. Honestly, I'm pretty sure I just knit it and I was like, let's see what happens size wise. And it turned out fine. It's a bandana. So I actually would really like to make this again and maybe do actually make it bigger. I think it would be really pretty and really fun to have as a shawl. I know there's a pressed flowers shawl. That is a paid pattern. This is a free pattern. And the flowers are all over. But I something that I came to enjoy about this bandana was that by the time, I got like down here, there was quite a bit of just, non-charted knitting that I got to do, which felt very relaxing. And then I had this like one element of paying attention a little bit per row. So I thought that was nice, and I think it would be nice to do again. I would definitely like to look into some of the other pressed flowers patterns. So we'll see how that goes. This is actually the first time I'm wearing this, and I finished it a good couple months ago. I don't really know why, because it's really cute, but I don't know, maybe I've been having a little bit of trouble pairing the colors. I'd also consider making this. I have a lot more of these scraps. I consider making this exact thing again, but just in a different colorway. I use barely any yarn. So it is a good scrap buster project. Let's copy. Another finished project. And to be clear, I have more things that I finished between now and whenever the last time I updated you was, but I can't talk about it all. So I'm just going to talk about this one thing, which is a vest. And I absolutely don't want to put this on right now. It's really quite warm. It's really pretty warm. And this is made from Cascade 220. So this sweater was part of a test knit that I was in for a sweater that never got released. And I actually don't really know what the news and the story on that is now, but it was called the Sweaty Season Sweater by Stockinette Bitch. And it's this like cute panel. So what I thought was really fun about it was these two stripe panels going in different directions. And it's intended to be a sweater. But two things happened. One, I kind of got stuck on the sleeves and I couldn't really quite figure out what I wanted the decrease rate to be, how many stitches I wanted to pick up on the sleeve, and then what the decrease rate wanted was on the sleeve, what was in the pattern I didn't really love. And then also like as that was kind of happening, the pattern release was delayed, and it sort of seemed like the release of the pattern was petering out a little bit. So between those two things, I stuck it to the side forever and ever, mostly done except for the sleeves. And one day I went, honestly, fuck it. What if it was just a vest and it would be super cute? And then I would actually get to wear this thing because I'm highly motivated by a deadline. So as soon as like there was no longer really a deadline for this and like not the clearest path on like what I should do because it was a test and nobody else had knit this yet. There were other people to compare to on Ravelry, you know? So I just petered out, so did the designer. I set this aside for ages and ages, but I decided I wanted to wear it. And the week that I like actually finished it, it was I think early May or like late April or something. So I sort of figured I wouldn't really get much, if anywhere, out of this. But then we had a little bit of a cold snap, and it was actually the perfect thing. And I wore it for 3 or 4 days in a row because it was just the perfect thing. I don't want to put it on my body right now, but suffice it to say, it's fun to wear as a vest. I really liked wearing it just like over a short sleeve t-shirt. I think in the winter, it'll be a really nice layering option. I love to wear a turtleneck in the winter, so turtleneck plus vest. Classic. Classic. Next, I'd like to talk about some things I'm actively working on right now. The first of which is kind of my main active project, which is this. I'm trying to hold by this end so that it doesn't slip off the needles. So this is the So Summer shirt by Jessie Made Designs. And it's a little hard to tell what's going on right now, but it's a bottom-up t-shirt. I've knit the body and I've separated for the front and back panels. I'm right now working on either the front or the back, whatever. I'm just following the pattern, y'all. But here we are. So I've just got a couple more increase repeats to do, and it's a really simple pattern. I like it's fun and easy and really just a bit of a brain off thing. So this is the Hobie Olivin. I'm not sure how you're supposed to say it. We're not going to talk about my nails right now because I've been doing a lot of gardening, but this is such a pretty sort of like marled green color. And it's making a lovely, like, drapey fabric. Let's see if you can, like, get a sense of, I think this will be really lovely to wear. I am working on it quite a bit because I'd like to be able to wear it in the summer. And, like, judging by my progress, I think I'll be able to wear it before too long. This yarn is a cotton and linen blend. So a lot like this, I love a cotton linen blend. It is a little bit hard on my hands, and the ribbing especially was quite tough. This is more of a sport weight yarn, whereas this was worsted. This was a worsted weight. I like it. I got it on sale. I don't normally order yarn online for like various reasons, but my coworker was placing an order and asked me if I wanted to get in, and this happened to be on sale. So I got 7 skeins of it. I really hope that that's enough. Working bottom up always kind of wigs me out because I do feel like you use the bulk of the yarn in that first chunk. Sorry if the camera angle changed ever so slightly. Let's pretend like nothing happened. The next thing I'm working on is in that kind of a mess of chords and strings phase right now. And I'm just trying to figure out, here we go. So this is a test knit for Park Williams. It's called the Very Squarey Tank. And this is she. I've done the 2 front straps. Let's see, I'll stand up. So these are the 2 front straps, and it's going to be like that. It's quite croppy, but that's fun. So I've done the 2 front straps. Cute. And now I have to do the back. I put this on hold before I went on a vacation, and I did pretty much all of this before vacation and then set it aside. And then haven't touched it since. I do need to get on it, but the test due date isn't until mid-July or something like that. And I know I can get it done before then. The front bit didn't take me very long. And it's cute. It's fun. This is a 50-50 wool and cotton blend. I don't think I'll ever wear it during the summer, like actual summer. I don't know how anybody wears wool during actual summer. Maybe you live in a place that doesn't get as hot as where I live. It's 30 degrees Celsius right now, and it's just gonna get hotter from here. I'm not wearing that thing during the summer, but it is really cute, and I think it'll be a fun layering piece in like either late summer, early fall to wear over like a fitted top or something like that. So this is the yarn. I'm using 4 different colors of this, but so this is one of the contrast colors. And actually, this is all leftover. I really barely used any. I think this would be a good scrap buster project. And this is, I like this yarn a lot. It has, look, it's like sport fingering weight, maybe. It's classified as a sport, but I think you could get away with a fingering weight project on this. And I don't know, I really like the fabric that it makes. I got this from Lens Mill. I haven't said the name. It's Queensland Collection United, I think is what it's called. And it's a 50-50 cotton wool blend. I would like to get more of it. I get this from a place called Lens Mill near me. It's like a factory outlet store. They also sell craft supplies. And I've noticed as I've been going there that their supply of this is dwindling and like not getting restocked. So they probably like bought out a yarn store that was closing or something like that. And like what they have is what they have. So I'm kind of considering buying more because look, like I just think that there's a lot of things that I could make with this. I really love a cotton wool blend. It feels so nice on my skin. So I think I might get some more of this, even though I don't actively need it, just because I don't know how much more I can get. That's the Very Squarey, coming soon to a Ravelry near you. And then the last thing I'm working on is another best. And this was a total impulse cast on when I dropped a bunch of stitches. Hold on, dropped stitches. It's cool. I'm just going to pick them up and deal with it later. But this was a total impulse cast on. I just needed something really simple and made with wool to work on. I needed to switch up the gauge that I was working at, and I needed to use something with a bit of memory and bounce back because I've been doing a lot of cotton stuff. And so I'm making this thing. Wait, this is the front. This is the See My Best by Maker Store. And there we go. Here we are. So I did the whole top yoke area, and now I've joined in the round, and I'm doing the body. Unfortunately, so these are all stash, but I ran out of this color with one row left to go on the stripe. Very annoying. And I don't have any left. I've looked everywhere. That was my like very last scrap of that. But I do actually think I'm going to get more, even though this is supposed to be a stash busting project. And I could theoretically just leave out this color, like rip it back, replace the stripe, pretend like nothing ever happened. However, one, it's like a kind of a wild color palette, which I'm game for. But I do really want to have this like neutral sort of cool brown color to tone it down slightly. Just a little something to chill it out color-wise. And I would also like to have a uniform color for the neck and armhole and hem ribbing. And I don't think I have enough of any one of these individually for all that. So a whole fresh skein will certainly have enough for all of that ribbon and my one row that I need. This is a worsted weight pattern, and I'm doing a 12-row stripe, and I'm just picking stuff out of my worsted weight stash, and it's really fun. I'm having a nice time with it. I've been putting off like the actual decision to buy another skein of yarn because I'm supposed to not really be buying yarn. I'm supposed to be cutting down my yarn stash, and like more on that later, but it's not going to plan. But one skein I do think will get me through all of the hem, collar, arm ribbon so that I have one unified color for all of that. And I think it'll tone down the wackiness of the color combo otherwise. I wanted to talk about a couple of other creative things that I'm currently working on. And they're two related projects. One is textile art related, and the other one is not textile art related, but is related to textile art. That doesn't make any sense. Let's talk about the textile art first. Last September, I went to a wonderful community quilt show that was hosted in a park here in Hamilton, and I found it so inspiring. So when they put a call out for this year's show, I went ahead and signed up. I've never made a quilt before. I've never shown anything in public before. So naturally, why not make a big hand-pieced quilt? If you can hear rustling, this is my bag of finished blocks. So I actually haven't really been working on this as much as maybe I should to keep on track. I've been caught up with another project, which I'll talk about shortly. But I have made a few blocks, and here is one of them. So these are all Ohio Star quilt square blocks. And the premise of this year's show is scraps. So all of these are made from secondhand materials or remnants. I do love to buy a remnant. There's a smaller block. And all of the materials that I'm using, like beyond fabric, are also secondhand. So I will be using secondhand batting. A lot of the thread is, if not secondhand, stuff that I already own. So I am hand piecing these. Have I shown you this one yet? I don't think so. I feel like whenever I talk about hand piecing, people become a little bit incredulous because, like, yeah, it is a big project, especially to sew completely by hand. It's quite time consuming. But here's the thing. One, I learned how to hand stitch when I was like quite young. Basically, the moment my parents decided it was okay for me to hold a sharp little sewing needle, I learned how to hand stitch stuff. And I learned how to use a sewing machine last year. So I've known how to hand stitch for a long time. I've known how to use a machine for much less long than that. So I actually find hand stitching more relaxing because I'm not also troubleshooting how to use a machine that I am only just learning how it works. I, too, also have an extremely high tolerance for things taking a long time because my main hobby is knitting. So I don't really mind that it's like going to take kind of forever. Although I am feeling a little bit of pressure because I've taken a few weeks off of working on it. And now I'm like, ooh, I do need to get to it. Because not only do I have multiple blocks, but I have sashing, borders, binding, all to make. I'm also assembling my own batting by using old sheets. So I'm giving myself like a lot of extra tasks in this that maybe others don't have, but it's for the love of the game. And I am really looking forward to it. I also can scale my quilt down. When I submitted, I do think I submitted for a twin size quilt because I would like this to be a usable blanket when it's done. But the organizers basically said, we got so many submissions this year that if you want to size your quilt down, like, please, yes, please do it. Do not go bigger. You can go smaller though. So that's always an option if it's like really getting down to the wire and I'm like, absolutely no way am I going to be able to assemble all of these blocks in time. So, that's a bit of comfort. And so that quilt is due in September. I think the drop off date is the 20th or something like that. Shortly. I know it's shortly after my birthday. And then the show itself is at the end of September. So related to my longer term, larger scale fabric quilting project, I'm also making a painting quilt, I guess I could call it. This is a series of 12 by 12 inch paintings of classic quilt blocks. These are going to be shown, I think, starting July 10th, I believe is the date, as part of the Fringe Festival here in Hamilton. There's a component called the Visual Fringe where artists can sign up in a lottery to have their work just go up at a cafe somewhere in the city. and I submitted my name to the lottery just to see what would happen. And here we are. I got a spot. So now I have to finish making these paintings. The top two in this picture are pretty much done, and then the bottom two are on their way to being done. And I'm having a lot of fun with the process. I'm not a painter really. Like, I like to make little paintings. I don't do a ton of it. It's not something that I would consider myself necessarily like highly skilled at, but I have fun. I have fun putting together colors. I know like enough about the theory that when I put my mind to it, I think I can like make something pretty nice. It's like a fun way to explore the quilting medium and the design of quilting in a different way. So those are going to be up at Relay Coffee here in Hamilton. So those are going to be displayed at Relay Coffee here in Hamilton starting July 10th, I believe. These are individual paintings, but I do see them as part of a larger series, maybe playing around with the scale of the painting and tiling paintings in different ways. I really would like to keep on working on this and like see if I could get a big wall space somewhere to put a lot of them up. I think that would be a fun future looking ahead project, shall we say. Okay. My camera keeps on overheating. Normally I record on my phone. Today I decided to try out using this digital camera I have, and I'm like kind of regretting it because I keep having to stop and start. So my window of tolerance is closing, and I think I'm going to go touch some grass instead of getting annoyed with technology. But I'll be back. I have some more things I wanted to show and tell you. In the meantime, thanks so much for clicking on this video. I really do appreciate your engagement. I really appreciate people commenting and liking and subscribing. And tell me about a project that you're working on this summer, knitting or not. I'll see you next time. Bye.